And joining me now is Dawn Fleming and her daughter Amanda. Now, Dawn, tell me a little bit about Reiki.
Okay, Reiki is a Japanese form of energy work. It was developed by Dr. Mikao Usui in Japan in the early 1920s. And whereas the Western culture looks at healing and medicine from a biological and chemical perspective of the body being biological and chemical, in the Eastern traditions they look at the body as being also a component energetic. And that energy field and that energy that flows within the body is just as important to have that healthy and balanced as the physical, biological, and the chemical components that are the blood and hormones. So Reiki addresses the energetic field, keeping it balanced, getting rid of the blocks that cause illness, getting rid of the blocks that keep us from living our life's purpose. And so from a method perspective, the person who receives Reiki either lays on a massage table or sits in the chair, or you can even do Reiki in the hospitals, in a hospital environment. And the practitioner either lightly touches the person, allowing the universal energy to flow through them to the person that they're working on, and it helps to balance the energy that's around the body and flowing in the body to bring the body back into health and balance. Now the person receiving the Reiki lays there just peacefully and is fully clothed, and the only thing they have to do is just relax as a Reiki practitioner allows that universal energy to flow through them into that person's energy field and body.
Now, actually, a friend of mine, a girlfriend of mine, fell off her bike, and a guy came along and saw her, and he went like this. And he put his hands on her leg, and she said she felt better. I mean, is that all there is to it? I mean, tell me about this energy flow.
Really, that is about all there. There's a little bit more to that. I've been doing this since 1989, so there is a lot more to that. But simply,
how does it work?
That universal energy flow. Well, with Reiki, when you take a Reiki class, you receive instruction on how to do it, but you also receive what they call an attunement, which aligns the energies within your body to be to facilitate the higher energy coming in through you. So it's a process called an attunement that you receive, and it aligns you energetically to hold and to facilitate this higher energy to flow through you. And I'd say that's part of how it works. And then a Reiki session can go about an hour, but also can go 1 or 2 minutes into a spot that needs it, and it unblocks the energy in that area.
So tell me, Dawn, how did you get started in this? You're this blonde-haired, blue-eyed American, you know.
That's a great question.
Yeah, it's an Eastern medicine.
When my daughter Amanda, and her name's Amanda Naughton, soon to be Sachs, was 4.5 years old, she had eye surgery, and after the eye surgery, the one eye that they operated on was lazy, and her eyesight was 2400, which she hardly could see out of that eye. And the doctor said, don't worry because it'll heal very quickly because she's young. And it did not heal hardly at all. And after 6 months, some friends of mine said, could we work on your daughter? Because at that time I worked for the federal government in a very conventional job. And I said, can you work on my daughter? And they explained about this, and they began working on her, and within 2 months, her eyesight went from 2400 to like 2200. And so they continued to work on her, and at one point her eyesight was down to 2100, and the eye doctor said, well, that's as good as it will ever get. And by that time I had been learning how to do it and practicing and working on her, and her eyesight ended up down to 20/50, so almost perfect.
How long did it take?
Well, we worked over time, so within about a 3-year time period, but we got an immediate, over a 2-month period, with an immediate drop from 2,400 to 2,200.
Now, did you feel any
Now,
different?
let me cut
Okay.
you for 1 minute, because I was on a 2-shot on you too. Let me get over to her, and now what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to nod over towards them, but look towards them. I need about 20 seconds of film material here. Now, this is when she's talking about you can go there. So just smile and, yeah, as though you're listening to what they were saying. Yeah, that's it, keep doing that. And then you don't have to nod too much because, you know, and smiling and smiling and smiling. I need like 20 seconds of that. Okay, now let me get a 2-shot of Lil and you, and now we'll ask Amanda that question. And
Okay.
action.
Amanda, that's amazing. I mean, did you feel any different when they were doing this to you? I mean, did they just put their hand over your eye? I mean, how does it work?
For me, I was a child, so for me it was going and laying on a table, and I would just feel very restful and calm while they were doing this, because it wasn't just over my eyes, they were doing a full body treatment, and what I noticed was my eyesight was getting better. And the thing for me was I used to have to wear a patch over my one eye to make the other eye stronger, and then I didn't have to wear that anymore, and that was like the best thing that ever happened.
Wow, did you feel any different?
I did feel different. I would always feel calm afterwards and extremely peaceful, and I was never in any pain, so really it was just being able to see. That was what was different. So,
And did it hurt?
no, Reiki does not hurt at all, and that is one of the benefits to Reiki, is it doesn't cause any pain.
And how long does the session last?
Anywhere between 50 to 60 minutes, usually an hour.
And why would they have to work on your whole body when it was just your eyes?
It's always good to give the full body treatment, because the rest of your body will benefit from having the Reiki treatment.
And so what did you think of your mom leaving her safe government job and doing this?
I thought it was wonderful because she can do what she loves, and that was the most important thing.
You weren't like, Mom, what are you, tripping?
That's what everybody else was
That's what everybody else was saying. However, I just knew how important it was to her, and it was good that she could do that. So.
Okay, wonderful. We're going to go to a quick break, but we'll be right back with my guests, Amanda and
Dawn.
Okay, now wait a minute.
Shit.
I'm just no, we can't say shit.
Sorry.
We just go to the quick break. We'll just go to the
Okay,
quick break.
okay.
Now, coming back from the break, I have a 3-shot. That's why I wanted to just go to.
Okay.
Okay, and action coming back from the break.
Welcome back. I'm here with Reiki expert Dawn and her daughter Amanda. So Dawn, tell us a little bit more about your practice.
When I left my government job, I began marketing more to get clients and students. And for me, I typically would take maybe 4 to 6 clients a day. And a person comes in and I talk to them a little bit, they get on the table, and I work with them, like Amanda said, 50 minutes to about an hour. And then we talk a little bit afterwards. What I found when I got into this to do for a living instead of my government job, I found I really had to treat it as a business. A lot of people get into holistic health, whether it's Reiki or healing touch or acupuncture, and they don't treat it as a business, and they find they have a hard time making it work. And there's a combination with getting in touch with your inner vision of what it is you want. Because some people just kind of go out there and try to do a little bit of everything, and without a clear vision, it doesn't support what it is they really want to be about, and it doesn't support success. And so I worked with my vision of what I wanted to do and how I wanted that to look. Of course, I wanted to be successful. And then the right combination of networking, marketing, connecting with people in the conventional medical world, like doctors and nurses and acupuncturists and chiropractors who could refer to me. And Reiki also works on the emotional level. So I was working with psychiatrists and psychologists who actually would refer people to me because it unblocks the energy that helps people move forward in their life, and it helps people release their fears so they can step into what is theirs to do.
You know, I have a friend who's a drama queen. Would you be able to work with her?
We can work with everyone, and it depends. Sometimes it depends on their willingness. I like it when I get the clients that are looking to change. And
Okay, folks, if you hear some chatter in the background, we're here at the top of the World Trade Center and we have some tours going on.
so the people who are willing to change are those who get more benefit. When you're dealing with emotional issues, you know those people who are drama queens or victims, that's serving them to stay in that place. That's what they want. But a lot of times I get people who say, I've been stuck for so long in this place and I just want to move on. And when I get clients like that, the Reiki helps facilitate the transformation within them to help them go through their process of releasing those issues that are keeping them from moving on.
That's wonderful.
Okay, now let me cut you for a second here. So people are getting a little loud on this side.
Right.
The books on the table are your book?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how about we introduce the product
Okay.
now? Okay. And action, Lil?
So Don, let's talk a little bit more about your business and everything like that. I see you have some CDs and some books and everything. Why don't you talk a little bit about them?
Okay, the Creating a Successful Holistic Health Practice book is finished being published, and it's available on my website at www.energytransformations.org, and that's transformations with an S. And I wrote this book because so many people were asking me to mentor them in having a successful practice like I had. So one day I just sat down and began writing and wrote nonstop for a week. And then as time has evolved, I actually teach a workshop with this title also, that I added more to the book from teaching the information. So this is complete. And then,
Hold on one second. Let me take a close-up of that. Hold it up a
Just
minute.
here, hold it up still.
Just let me get a close-up of it. And I have it. All of it's on the same camera. And the title is on it.
yes.
Okay, sorry, the light's reflecting. Okay, ooh, that's interesting. Okay, and, all right, so that's that. Now let me get to the 3-shot again. And action on your next book.
And then the next book that I developed is called Navigating the CEU Process. And CEU is a continuing education unit, and a lot of people in the holistic health field need CEUs every 2 years. And so as part of teaching Reiki and some of the holistic health classes that I teach, I went through the certification process to become a CEU provider. So I can provide CEUs to massage therapists, acupuncturists, social workers, and nurses. And it was such a laborious process that I decided, and there was no information out there about it, so I decided to write a booklet about it to help others in the field who are teachers to work through the CEU process.
And is that available on your website too?
This will be available on my website probably the end of October. This is the proof copy, so I'm going to read it one more time, polish it up, and it will be available.
Great.
And these CDs sprang from, I've taught meditation for a very long time, and everyone would always ask me, why aren't you recording these meditations?
Mm-hmm.
So the one meditation right here, Tranquil Meditations, is 2 CDs for two guided meditations, not 2 CDs, 2 guided meditations on really reducing stress. We have so much chaos in our lives that this was 2 meditations to help decompress at the end of the day. And meditation can help you lower blood pressure. It can just help you release that static energy and find that place of balance at any time. And then this meditation CD, the first meditation or the second cut on it is a meditation for healing the body. It's a guided meditation, anyone can work with it. And the next cut after that are prayers that are read by myself, my daughter Amanda, and a friend of mine named Linda Brent. We read the prayers 3 times, one in a natural flow, the second time slower, and a third time I read it as like a meditation. And
Why don't you ask for website and telephone information, etc.
Okay.
And actually,
Don, all these products are wonderful. How can somebody get in touch with you? Do you have a website?
yes, the website is www.energytransformations.org, and my phone number is 480-751-9278. And either way, that's how they could get in touch with me. And my daughter Amanda also teaches Reike
That's wonderful.
at a place in Centerville called True Relaxations. And you could get in touch with her classes at www.truerelaxations.com. Reiki, you don't have to be a massage therapist or a nurse in order to learn Reiki. You know, you really don't have to be a massage therapist or a nurse to do Reiki. I've taught many people who either wanted to learn how to do Reiki on themselves, because that's what we teach in a Reiki 1 class, or we've taught people that had relatives that had a healing need and they just wanted to be part of their healing process.
So, Dawn, tell us like what memorable story you have.
Okay, besides Amanda, I've seen Reiki, you know, help people with cancer, help people healing bones. But I want to go back to another story related to an eye situation, because I like to go to those stories where there's not usually a conventional solution to a situation. I had one client who came to me who said, I've had 3 or 4 eye appointments and with different doctors, and each doctor said that I had macular degeneration. And she was in her early 40s, and she said, I don't want to have to live with this.
What is macular degeneration?
It's a condition of the eye, and the doctors, there's not a solution to it. The eye just continues to deteriorate, and eventually you lose your sight. And since I'm not a medical doctor, I can't explain exactly how that happens in the eye. But I just know that eventually people end up with canes or healing dog, seeing eye dog to help them maneuver. And so she said, you have 8 weeks to work on me until my husband takes me for another to another doctor to get another opinion. And her husband was a doctor, and so he was.
How ironic.
I know. And
Eye doctor?
no, not an eye doctor. And that's why he wanted to make sure she had seen all the experts. So I began seeing her once a week. And she never gave, you know, she'd say, oh, this Reiki, she could tell me that it was actually working on other areas of her body also. But she never gave me feedback to if her eyes were getting better. But after she went for this 4th opinion, she came to me and she said, I don't have macular degeneration.
Wow.
And I said, well, what happened? Did it just happen like between the 7th and 8th week? Because you never told me anything. And she said, no. She said, over that period, I began noticing that I was seeing letters whole again when I was reading. And she said, but I was hoping that it wasn't all in my mind, so I didn't want to tell you anything. And then she said, as we got closer to the 8 weeks, I could get on my computer again and read the information on the computer, which she couldn't do. And she said, so I was just waiting and holding out to hear what the doctor was going to say. And so when she went for the appointment, the doctor said, you don't have macular degeneration. And
Wow.
so that was, to me, you know, wonderful to be a part of that process of getting her energy back in balance. Because when your energy's in balance, it supports the physical, it supports the biological and chemical components to do what they need to do. Because any doctor will tell you that the body has everything that it needs to heal itself. That's the purpose of all these organs and blood and hormones. So the energy work helps to balance all those components so that the body heals. So that's one of the stories that stands out the most to me.
Now, what do you say to all the skeptics that are like, oh, chiropractors, Reiki, holistic, whatever, that's just quackery?
Well, I know it wasn't in their learning. It wasn't as part of their learning. And I just tell them, be open, go have a Reiki session. You see more and more about this energy work filtering in. There's a lot of hospitals that allow Reiki. BWI Hospital down in Anne Arundel County, Anne Arundel Medical Center, are some of the hospitals that I know where you could actually request Reiki when you're in the hospital. The thing is, the hospital's not going to tell you that's part of their list of services, but you can request it, and they do have people that come in and do Reiki in the hospital.
Okay, so instead of shouting, morphine, morphine, I can
You can ask for Reiki.
Okay, all right.
And that's a very good point, because I have worked on people in the hospital that just came out of surgery, right when they came out of recovery into their rooms, and they talked about how they did not need the pain medicine after that pain medicine had worn off. And one client that I worked on her jaw, because she had jaw surgery, I could see in her face that she was brightening up, and I could see that she thought she was going to get out of the bed. And I just said to her, do not even think about getting out of the bed. Let this energy help your healing process. And she later on told me, she said, that's exactly what I was thinking about, that I was feeling good enough to get out of bed. She said, I'm glad you told me just to stay put.
Now, I'm very curious about the energy transfer. Like, do you feel exhausted at the end of the day because you're transferring all your energy to your patients? And do you absorb their negative energy? Like, any of that, like the cancers and things like that?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm not giving that person my energy. The universal energy is just flowing through me to them. So it's as if I'm receiving Reiki also as I'm doing that session. So a lot of times at the end of the day, I'm feeling very vibrant and very alive and wanting to go out and take a walk, ride my bike, just because I've got all this energy that's been flowing through me, and good energy. And I don't pick up anyone's energy because that energy is flowing through me into them, not coming back. And we learned something in Reiki, that a lot of times from being so close to someone, you connect deeply into their energy field. And so at the end of the day, we learn to disconnect so that we're not thinking about that person or thinking about the people that we worked on all day, and we do a disconnect so that we can go on with our lives and not be thinking about others.
How do you do a disconnect?
Okay, that's very easy. Now,
clicking on.
and it's a Japanese practice as part of Reiki. You just put your right hand over your left shoulder and swipe to your opposite hip. You do it on the other side, and then you do it on this side one more time, and then you put your left arm out and you sweep off, and you sweep off on your right arm, and sweep off there one more time, and just release it all up for a blessing. And we not only do this in Reiki, but if you're out in public and you just feel like maybe you're in a mall or people are just too much in your space, or the one time when my children were small, they were following me around in the store going, when are we leaving? When are we leaving? And I'm walking through the store going like this. And they're like, who are you disconnecting from? And I said, you all. And they just said, we'll wait for you outside. And so it really does release your connectedness into the depth of what's going on around you.
Why don't you demonstrate that slowly one more time?
Okay. You just take your right hand over your left shoulder and just swipe down to the opposite hip. And then you do it on the other direction and back to the beginning. And you put your left arm and you sweep off there, sweep off your right arm, sweep off your left arm, and then just release it up for a blessing.
Okay, now, there's 2 minutes left, and you said something about letting people know how to do their own business. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah.
Or did you do that already?
What's in the, do you want to
It's-
talk about the book again?
Yeah, I could just,
You should just start talking.
Okay.
Okay, and action on Dawn?
so for those of you who are interested in doing Reiki or any of the energy modalities for a living as a business, you may want to think about the ideas in creating a successful holistic health practice book. It's laid out like a workbook where people can work through different exercises to help them focus their intention to create really a successful practice that's not only successful financially, but successful in helping others heal, in others finding their path and connecting with their purpose in life. So I'm out of words there.
Okay, you got 1 minute, so Lil, you can do whatever you want. Okay, and action.
Dawn, that's wonderful. So any last words for our viewers?
Yes, if you haven't had a Reiki treatment, try it out. There's many practitioners in the Baltimore, Washington area. If you have just been curious about finding out how to do Reiki, because you can learn to do it on yourself and others, sign up for a Reiki class. It's probably one of the best things you'll do. A lot of people will sign up thinking they're just doing it to learn this process, but what they find out is that it's a transformational process that begins to occur within themselves after they take a Reiki class. So Reiki is great to receive, and it's just as great to give to someone else.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
This has been Lil Rhee.
Okay, we did that. Ask Amanda if she has any last thoughts.
Okay,
Do I?
all right.
Action.
Amanda, any last thoughts for our viewers?
Yes. Reiki, as mentioned before, is really great for children. I grew up with having Reiki in the household, and it really helped balance me out as a child, as a teenager. I always had something to fall back on to help me deal with things that come up as you grow up and as you're in high school, and dealing with things while you're in college as well.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much.
Okay, we can bleed it out. I mean, these tapes run weird. Sometimes they stop exactly on the dot. Why don't you say we'll be right back, and then we'll take a break, okay? And action.
We'll be right back, so don't touch that remote.
Okay. Well, I've got everything we need except the stuff he's going to go over there and shoot. And this should be, it's at 1:33. There's supposedly an hour and a half. Oh, stop. I'm not.